Okay, start with some breaking news out of the mayor's office over at City Hall. Toronto Mayor John Tory endorsing a city staff report recommending City Council enter into required host city and stadium agreements for the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
That'd be great for us. Don't you think so?
I don't know if we'll get the Tory game, but that would be wonderful.
Well, you know, it's a chance for us to get a part of the greatest sports show on earth, I think, and I think a lot of people in Toronto will be happy about that, but for a very low cost. This bid is a joint bid of Canada, United States, and Mexico, and Toronto is one of the 3 Canadian cities that have been approved to be part of the Canadian part of this bid. So we'd get 4 or 5 games, and we'd have to invest very little money in order to put it on. We just have some expansion of the seating at BMO Field, which we did for the hockey last year, for example. And so to me, this is one of those ones where we'd have huge attention paid to Toronto. I think our people here would love to have 4 or 5 World Cup games in Toronto. And, you know, so to me, it's one of those ones where let's go for it.
This city shuts down every World Cup game.
Imagine having 4 or 5 games here.
That would be absolutely amazing. So that comes on the heels of us being revealed last week as being on Amazon's final list, the only Canadian city. Unheard of. And a lot of people were surprised by the fact because they thought, well, it definitely will be all American cities considering the political climate down there right now.
I don't think they could overlook us, though, because we have a talent pool here that is so deep and so diverse, and we have a willingness to welcome the best and the brightest from around the world to come and supplement our talent pool. And it's a great place to live. You know, like I say that, obviously I'm biased as the mayor and as a Torontonian lifelong, but it is a great place to live. And so from Amazon's standpoint, I don't know how they could leave Toronto off the list, but it's a real compliment to us that out of 238 cities, we made the playoffs, as I said last week. We made the cut. And so now, you know, we'll see where it goes. You know, when you make the playoffs, it doesn't mean you win the cup. So
what else are we going to bid for?
Well, very carefully.
I'm
I'm very careful about this. I mean, to me, we've now set up a very strict set of criteria as to when you bid, and you have to have the financial support of the other governments to do it. And so I'm not rushing around. I think you bid carefully for things that are going to pay substantial, lasting dividends to the city and that have a lower cost.
What's next? What are we maybe considering?
I don't know, but I wonder sometimes, why don't we have the World Figure Skating Championships here? Why have we not? I don't think we've even had the World Curling Championships here, and you know, there's a big following of these things, and these are modest things, but they do draw some attention. So I'm interested in that sort of thing, and big conventions. You know, those are not as exciting. We're trying to woo a big tech show here now that would bring, like, you know, 50,000 people to the city, and that's what's going to fill up the hotel rooms and be good for the economy. So that's the kind of stuff I'm bidding in. The World Cup is a shared bid, so it's one where you can more readily step forward and say, let's do it, because it's shared between 3 countries and 3 cities in Canada, and we have 4 or 5 games.
Okay, we actually were going to bring you in here to talk about the report about potholes till this thing broke this morning.
We filled 8,000 on the weekend. That's the news.
So where do we stand then with
I think we stand probably caught up with where we were last year, but it's been a bad year for the potholes because of the weather, the warm we're having now, the cold, and it creates these potholes. And so I think what we wanted to do on the weekend was try and catch up, and we'll try and stay on top of this, but we need the weather to cooperate with us.
And quickly, I want to talk about King Street as well, because the store owners, shop owners, property owners are getting together tonight to talk about what is plaguing them. There's no doubt some of them are hurting from this. Are you willing maybe to bend some on the King Street pilot project?
What we're doing first, we've listened to them, we've listened to all their ideas. What we're doing is we're trying to get people down to King Street to understand King Street is open for business. You know, and we're trying to find ways to stimulate their business as opposed to giving up on the huge transit gains we've had. So, you know, I'm surprised they're spending as much of their time being negative about the project as opposed to working with us to try and get people down there to have lunch, have dinner, have a drink. And may I say to the viewers, please go down to King Street West, have a drink, have dinner, have lunch. Those places are still open. You can get there as easily as you could before. And that's what's going to fix those businesses, not political protests against me or anybody else.
What about pulling back a bit, changing the hours?
Well, we've listened to all of their suggestions, and we haven't said no, but we're less than 3 months into a 12-month project.
So there's hope.
We have to, well, there's hope because I think those businesses are going to come back. Okay. That's where the hope is. And we're trying to stimulate that. You're going to hear some ads and some social media posts this week to really try and get people down there. King Street is open.
All right, thank you so much. Go FIFA. Let's hope, keep our fingers crossed for that one. We wouldn't see her for weeks. All right, here's Mel with our top stories.